my name is Sylvester McCoy, and if you're the Rabbi from another planet, please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And I've been listening to the latest of the Big Finish's monthly releases, The Grey Man of the Mountain, starring Sylvester McCoy, Sophie Aldred, and John Carter as a Brigadier. Is it a recommend? I'm afraid not. It's one of the better releases in the monthly range for the year. But is it a recommend? Not really, I'm afraid. I'm going to go into the detail, into my reasons why, the details of why I wasn't completely enamored with this story, which has a lot to recommend it. It does have a lot to recommend it, but still, sadly, not a recommend. Before we get there, though, can you hit the like button? That'd be fantastic. And hit the share button. Thank you very much. I am insanely grateful. Could you hit that subscribe button? Do a little Christmas miracle for a rabbi. See, if you like things that juxtapose against each other, doing a Christmas miracle for a rabbi sounds like something you might want to do. So, yeah, click the subscribe button. They fan-frickin-tastic. If you subscribe, you can enter my weekly competitions. And the prize, I think, is a pretty darn good one this week. It is the Rabbi from Another Planet. It's a Christmas stocking. The Rabbi from Another Planet's Christmas stocking. I've been adding stuff into it all week. So the prize gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm going to add in something else tomorrow as well. And I might schlep this out till next week because it's just a good prize. So fine. So far, what we have in the stocking, and one person wins all of this, okay, is Solace on Blu-ray. We have... because, Christmas isn't Christmas without a bit of James Bond action. We have James Bond Legends on PS3. Not a great game, but you get to do a bit of a shoot-em-up as James Bond. What could be bad about that? Well, weirdly enough, you're doing it in Daniel Craig's voice, not the respective Bond on the adventure. But you get to go through all of Bond's adventures. You get Star Trek, the J.J. Abrams Star Trek game on PS3. I kind of like this game. People rank on it. I like it. You get... this is cool. This is definitely cool. You get this little book, The Nth Doctor. The Nth Doctor is all the aborted Doctor Who movies that weren't made. It's a really fascinating thing. You get all the... and you get a bunch of TV versions that weren't made between 89 and 96. Good book. You get... this is a Big Finish review, so people will probably like this. Countermeasures, the Movellan Manoever. Pretty darn good one. I ordered this by mistake. I buy everything on download, right? And I picked this one up by mistake because I clicked the wrong button. So into the stocking it goes. I have any need for it. We have Highlander. There can be only one, except for the other one. MacLeod and the other MacLeod. Kurgan Rising, read by Adrian Paul. It's still in the wrapping. I've never heard it. And what else we have? This stock is getting big now. We have Red Dwarf Back to Earth. The director's cut. Okay, whatever. On DVD, and what we're adding in today is, and we're adding something in tomorrow, is Judge Dredd, Justice 1. Great graphic novel. Judge Dredd, fantastic sci-fi, but not very sci-fi a lot of the time. This time he's out in space on Justice 1, which is kind of like Air Force One, in space. So Judge is in space. Lots of fun. All you need to do to win this prize, this fantastic prize, subscribe to the channel, which is a freaking reason I do this. Subscribe to the channel, and in the comments leave the hashtag Merry Christmas, one and all. Merry Christmas, one and all. I'm planning doing the prize draw on the 26th. I might schlep it out a little bit longer, as I said, because it's a good prize. Anyway, go check the video notes. Everything's there you need to know to win the prize. While you're in the video notes, go check out this link to my Indiegogo. 2 graphic novels coming out. I'm doing an email sign-up list to let people know when it comes out. You get one of these 4 art cards if you make any purchase, if you join the email list. Unless you buy the level, you get both graphic novels and you get all 4 art cards. Then in that case, you get a 5th Chaser card absolutely for free. And you get a free one. Free with any purchase. Just add your email address, and even if you're not planning on making a purchase, that'd be double dozy. Fine, let's talk about this Big Finish release. The Old Man of the Mountain, the Grey Man of the Mountain, not the Old Man of the Mountain. So this is set post-battlefield. You've got an older Brigadier, Sylvester McCoy's Doctor and Sophie Aldred as Ace. Both of them fit. Everybody fits seamlessly, absolutely seamlessly into their roles. John Carter's Brigadier is beyond perfect. It's absolutely beyond perfect. It's better than Jake Dudman's, 10th or 11th Doctor, which I can't tell the difference. And it's a wonderful performance. That alone recommends recommends the release. So why am I not recommending this release? Well, firstly, it's a Christmassy one as well, and I love Christmassy stuff. I've been really wanting Big Finish to do a box set of Christmas specials that never happened, like a Tom Baker Christmas special or in this case Sylvester McCoy Christmas special, which is essentially what this is. The Doctor and Ace find themselves in middle of nowhere in Scotland. And there's the third biggest mountain there. All this stuff needs a lot of local Scottish knowledge, right? All this stuff needs a lot of local Scottish knowledge, which they don't do a great job in imparting. Like a major plot point is there's a cairn, which I don't know what. I was going to Google it to find out what a cairn is, which is part of a plot point of the story, and whatever. I don't know. They just expected you to know. And look, maybe I'm just done for not not knowing it. Let's read the blurb. Sight haunts the peak of Ben McDye. Yeah, this is a real mountain, Ben McDye. Okay. Sight with heavy footsteps, striking terror in the hearts of those who sensed it. With climbers going missing, retired brigadier Lethbridge visits Scotland to investigate. Lovely. Absolutely lovely, lovely premise. But when his old friends join the ascent, he worries that he will make things even more dangerous. As the snows blow in and the mists around them, the Doctor, Ace, and the Brigadier face the Grey Man of the mountain. So, look, the essential plot is they go up to this mountain because weird goings-on are there. People are getting terrified by this spectral entity, the Grey Man of the mountain. And they go and investigate, and it very quickly becomes a quest for survival against the elements, as the backup character, the supporting characters file in one. You basically have three supporting characters. Two of them sound pretty much identical. Both again set in Scotland, so you've got to expect them to be have Scottish accents. But it's very hard telling them apart for me anyway. So they going up the mountain in two groups. Whoever sees this Grey Man of the mountain goes absolutely insane with terror. And it's not long before the Doctor does see it here, and you see him collapse in terror as well, which is actually kind of a good, interesting thing to do. This story, however, goes off the rails, in my estimation, around episode 3 or 4, where the what this mystery is starts to resolve itself, and then it just gets a bit inconsequential. We're going back to this thing which I think plagued Jodie Whittaker's first season of Doctor Who. One of the many things that plagued Jodie Whittaker's first season of Doctor Who, which is the threat wasn't a threat. The threat wasn't a threat, and the threat just completely dissipated by the third and fourth episode, and you're left not really understanding what it was or caring. Which is not really the best of things to do. So this was written by Elizabeth Miles. Elizabeth Miles is a newer female writer, which always sets off warning bells for me now with Big Finish, because Big Finish are actively working very hard to recruit female writers, and I think their zest to what's the word? To bring more diversity. That's the word. To bring more diversity means they've dropped the quality, which is basically what happened here, as what happened on many of their releases this year. Not just the monthly range. The monthly range, though, has been crawling along in utter agony, begging for death. Not one. I haven't been able to recommend one of them this year. I kind of like Scorched Earth. But it's got Colin Baker being a little bit preachy in it, he's got a bit preachy of late. Way better than the Sixth Doctor and Perry box set, which was utter garbage, hot garbage, which so many are. They're utter hot garbage because they bring in bits of 2020 sensibilities, 2019 sensibilities, which are absolute nonsense. And absolute nonsense and a little bit of writing immaturity. So, at the end of this story, we have the young Scottish girl that Ace is paired off with for most of the story, She says, she goes through this arc of like not being as brave as she wants to be, and then in the end she gives Ace a kiss, and it's an ambiguous kiss, maybe sexual. Look, play for me. It was romantic. It was sexual. And so you have Sophie Aldred talking there and say, yeah, I think Ace is just somebody who's open to love. Open to love. It doesn't really matter if it's male or female. So Sophie, I want to ask you, are you open to love that way? And if not, are you a bigot? Which is the intimation that you're making. If somebody's not open to love, they're a bigot. Because I don't think you are open to love. I think you are what we call a normative human being. Normative human beings, their gender and sexuality are not fluid. Are not fluid. That's for a normative human being. Now, using the word normative does scare people a lot of the time. Go, it doesn't matter. Listen, I'm a fat Jew. That makes me by definition not normal. Well, yeah, most Jews, a lot of Jews are fat, but that makes me by definition not normal. Just because out of the, there are a lot less of us than there are people who aren't fat Jews. It's just the way it is. I'm a minority. There's nothing wrong in being a minority, but it's not normative. It's not normative to be a minority, and that's just a basic understanding that I think the current crop of younger writers cannot get through their head, or even Sophie Aldred. Yeah, Sophie Aldred, I think, is somebody who is heterosexual and spent their whole life being heterosexual, and she completely believes, well, Ace is completely open-minded. Again, it's not a question about being open-minded, it's a question about being a normative human being, and that's what really kind of doesn't break this story, but it's broken a lot of Big Finish stories this year, and it wasn't like a major thing. And actually, funnily enough, I was like saying, oh God, why do these writers always have to insert themselves so much in the story, right? And insert themselves so much, and again, you take your personal experience, which is, not normative, you're a gay woman, as she says on Twitter, fine, no one's got a problem with it, and then say it is normative. It's a mistake, and I think it's damaging. I think it's actually damaging to the fabric of society. I think it's a bad thing. So, right after I listened to this, I started re-listening to Russell T Davis's Damaged Goods, which is one of my favorite Doctor Who Christmas stories. I'm going to do a review of it hopefully tomorrow, as long as I finish listening to it, because I actually adore that. And I noticed Russell T Davies did exactly the same thing. He made a lot of that story about what it's like to be a gay man growing up in contemporary, being gay in contemporary England, which is something that's not a normative point of view. So that's kind of works against my argument, right? Because Russell T Davies, I think, can get away with it because he's a massive talent. But more than that, it's I just think Damaged Goods was one of Russell Davies' earliest things. He did it at the beginning of his career, and so at the beginning of career, you do have youthful mistakes, which is that you take your personal position, your personal outlook, and you say this is everybody's outlook, right? Which I think is what Elizabeth Miles is doing here. Not a bad writer at all. I'm just really concerned that the drive to bring in female voices for some unknown reason, right? Because I'm sorry. I don't see gender being a barrier for entry in writing in any way, shape, or form. I just don't see that, and I don't see there being a need to favor female writers over male writers, which has clearly been the MO of Big Finish over the past year. Just going on the demographics, right? I don't see any wrong that needs to be righted there, and I don't see a need to sacrifice quality to do it, which you have done here. Not to the extent that they've done on many of the releases. Again, the worst release I've ever heard them put out was the Flying Dutchman. That was the Sylvester McCoy release from a couple of months ago. Absolute garbage. It's the worst release Big Finish have ever put out, and I think the reason it got by is because they wanted to have a first-time female writer. So Elizabeth Miles, it's a fine story. It's a fine story. It needed more editing towards the end to pump up the villainy, pump up the threat, and resolve it in a way that didn't go kind of, which is what the story did. It just went right. So it's nearly there. Yeah, it's nearly there. It's nearly good. It's nearly good. John Colshaw, absolutely perfect. The Brigadier, a delight to hear him. It's what I please bring him in more things. And I think just be harder on your writers. Have the editorial staff be harder on the writers and make them work harder. Otherwise, they're going to be called what they are, which is diversity hires. And nobody wants to be there. Especially this woman, Elizabeth Miles, talented individual, shouldn't be a diversity hire, right? She shouldn't be a diversity. She could have done better if pushed to do better. And I think you're doing her. I think you're doing the listener. I think you're doing the audience. I think you're doing everybody a disservice by doing this. Because there's a great shame, because this was nearly the best release of the year. Sadly, just average. My name is Phil Becken, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.